All right, everybody. I hope everybody had a great night. It's kind of at the end of the day now, I guess. Kids are going to bed and everybody's relaxing. But I'm in my craft room, and today I showed you a little snippet of a card I made last night. A teacher card using the Harvest Hellos set. Today I'm going to take that same kind of look, but change it up a little bit and use a few more. This is very simple. All I used on this card was the Harvest Hello stamp set and the punch, and then I did a technique called the chalkboard technique. So that's really what I'm here to show you, is the chalkboard technique. But I'm also doing double duty, and I'm going to show you another type of card you can do as a teacher card, since our kiddos are going back to school here shortly. So what are you going to need for today's card? So you can just enjoy the card making process. I will post the measurements and everything in the description, so you can see that there, and then you can just kind of watch instead of trying to, you know, mark everything down. So what you're going to need, and I've kind of did a little bit of prep work, what you're going to need is you can either do real red card base, and just do the whole 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 real red card base, or what I did is I did use some of my white Whisper white card bases, and all I did is I cut real red at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I used my liquid adhesive to glue that down. And then I took the rectangle stitch dies, and I'm just going to show you those right now, if I can get them out. My fingers don't want to work today. And I used, on the Granny Apple Green, I used the largest stitch die here, and I cut that out, and that is 4 by 5 1/4. And then I glued that down with liquid adhesive, and we'll set that aside. And then I took the stitch dies again, and I cut this one out at, let me make sure I got it right, 4 3/4 by 3 1/2, which is the next it's the next one on from the largest on the rectangle dies. Okay. So this one has a little bit more stitching kind of around it. What you can do, so you can see the stitching a bit better, is you could take your black fine point pen and go on each of the stitched items, and it just brings it out. And I think I will do that later, and I'll show you that at the end. This one is a little bit hard to do that. You could take our white chalk markers and do that on there, but I'm going to first show you how to do the chalkboard technique. This was supposed to be for Technique Tuesday. Didn't get the video done, so it's Technique Wednesday instead. So for that, you are going to need our Whisper White pigment ink. And remember, pigment ink is very different than our water-based ink or our regular ink, in that this takes a while to dry, so it can smudge easily. We're kind of doing a smudging technique, so it probably will look okay, but just remember, if you want to keep your fingers clean, to be careful with that. And then what you want to do is when I buy the sponges, I take them and I cut them in little pie shapes, and so then I have like a little hole, and I'm not using the whole sponge, and then I can use these for multiple colors too. So what we're going to do is we need a scrap piece of paper, and we'll put our piece of black cardstock down, and we're going to just dab lightly, tap off if you don't want too much, and then we're just going to kind of smudge it, right? And we're going to it'll be dark at first, and then we're going to go back with our side, and we're going to make it more smudge looking, right? Just like a chalkboard would be. Okay. And you don't need, the white comes off fairly juicy, so you I'm just going to use this side because I know this side isn't as chalky. And you can blend it with your sponge so it doesn't look like you just smeared it on. And you can blend it all over and make it look more like chalk mess, right? And then you're just going to go and get some on this side and then blend all over. Now I got it on me, of course, because I always do that. And then you're going to blend it in, okay, like so, like that. And you're going to make it like a smudge look. So it's like you can see on this card, you can see how it's smudged in there, right? And as it dries more, it'll look more smudged. And just smudge it all over like a chalkboard would be. And you don't need to dab a lot. I grabbed a little bit too much on this one. And then we're going to smudge it in. Okay, like so. Okay, and we are going to, I want this a little bit more smudged. And then just blend it in with your sponge. If you want, you can use this end where it's not as used as well. There, and then you kind of get a sponge look on there. And then we're just going to wipe our hands off because you don't want to get that ink on everything. And we're going to set this to dry. So it's going to take, you know, regular ink dries within a few seconds, right? Whereas this ink is going to take a little bit. And just make sure you clean off your area so you don't get ink on everything else. Set that aside. And then I'm going to show you how to, I'm not going to do all of them because I already have some already done just to save time, but I'm just going to show you how to stamp them out and punch them out, the apples. So you're going to take from the Harvest Hello set, which is right here, this set right here. You're going to take the apple and the leaf here, which goes with the apple. And I will show you how to do everything. So we're going to start with our little apple and we're going to do some of these. So you'll need a few. I always like to do extra just because if one gets wrecked or you punch it out wrong. So do a few of those. Okay. And then just use your baby wipe or your chamois, whatever you have to clean your stamp off. And then we will close this up so I don't get anything. So I'll show you how to punch it out, okay? So let's say you don't want to, because it punches out the leaves and the stem at the same time as the thing. So what you want to do is you're just going to cut these out, okay? Okay. And this is Granny Apple Green, and it's Real Red for the red part and Daffodil Delight for the yellow. So I always leave a little bit of extra so I can fit it in. So then you fit it in, and then you're not going to waste any paper by having all these leaves and stems that you don't want, okay? And that's how all you do. And always make sure you flip it upside down so you can see what you're doing and you can line it up. So there's your apple, and then you can use this for something else. Okay, and then we want to do a stem, right? And we don't want, and this is where you can use your scraps. So this is a bunch of scraps that normally you're not going to keep, right? So this can be great for these kind of little things. So all you're going to do is take your scrap paper and slip it in where the stem is, and then you're just going to go like that. They're little, so be careful. And then you want a leaf. And I use a different color green because the leaves are going to be different than the thing. So we are going to get our Memento ink again. And we're going to get our little leaf stamp right here. So small, very easy to lose if you don't watch. And I'm going to stamp it out in Just Jade, which is one of our in colors. I really love our in colors. I think these are my favorite in colors that they've ever brought out. And we're going to stamp that out and clean up our mess so we don't get ink everywhere. And I'm going to show you how to cut this guy out. So you're just going to line her up like so. This one you're going to get a little, because I didn't do it right at the edge, but Okay, so that is your leaf. We'll put that there. If you don't like all this extra on here, just take your paper to your paper snips and just cut it like so. So it's a little bit more equal. Okay, so now how do you glue this together so it looks like this guy does right here, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to take your liquid glue. We'll use our Tombow liquid glue here, as mine's well loved. And you're going to put a little dab of glue on the end of the stem right here. And you're going to decide a little bit ahead of time how tall you want your stem. And then you're going to glue it right here like so. Okay. Okay. And then you're going to add a little bit of glue on the edge of here. This stuff comes out a little bit fast, so just be careful. And this is white, but it dries clear. And if you want to add a little bit of extra to your apples, you can sure take the coordinating color to your apple and sponge on the sides, which I'm not going to do for this one, just to save time and just try something different, okay? So that is how you would do our apples. And I'm just going to clean this guy off so I don't get black on me anywhere. So let's start putting our card together. On the original one, it's a much bigger space. But on this one, we're going to, instead of going sideways, we're going to go up and down with this, okay? Like so. So we're going to do it a little bit different, just kind of adding different things in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of play around to decide how we want our apples. So we're going to take our Daffodil Delight, our Granny Apple Green, oh, it's stuck there, and our Rio Red. And we're going to kind of place it topsy-turvy is what I like to call it. And I like them to be like kind of like this. And then what you can do, just move them in a little bit because we don't need a whole heck of a much room. Play around with how you want it to look, right? So, and then what you can do is you can put the seeds down. We can kind of play with this and see what we like. Again, we're going to use our ink. So we can go down it like this, or we could go, let's go down. Before we glue, we'll do a row of them down this way. Take this off, and we're going to get our white ink again. You want to make sure you have all your stamping done before you glue down. Okay, always check to make sure you know what you're doing here. And we're going to go down like that. And remember, it does dry a lot darker. We're just kind of experimenting today. Okay, and then we can have our apples going on the side like that. Yes, I like that. Okay, we're going to clean this guy off. And we are going to pick our sentiment. On the original card, I did welcome back, you're an A+ teacher. So you can go with that, or you can go with what you have in your stash. And I'm just going to go with a to an A+ teacher on this one. Okay. Always make sure you can see the lettering before you commit. So we should have let that dry a little bit. And we're going to pop these up when I'm done here. I'm just kind of fooling with it here. So we can always, you know what, that's what we're going to do. That's cool. So what we're going to do is going to take our to an A+ teacher and do it on the red. Yeah. We'll do it like that. And put it on the red like that. There we go. So our sentiment is going to be on our apple, which is a little bit different. Okay. So it saves us a bit of room too, because this one is a little bit smaller than the original. So we're going to pop this one up for sure. And this one. Okay. Let's pop these guys up with our dimensionals. As they're sticking to everything here. And then we're also going to add our little ribbon. And I changed the color of the ribbon to this time for something a little bit different. And add how many dimensionals you want. Some people like a lot of dimensionals. Some people don't. Everybody has their preference. I'm going to make this one topsy-turvy. You can see everything. I'm hoping I'm in camera. I'm not even looking to see. These little dimensional backers, I literally vacuum them up all the time. I'll leave this one kind of at an angle. There. I'm committed now. Yeah, if you're looking at different adhesives and what you should and shouldn't have, you know, everybody has their preference. Some people like, don't like liquid adhesive. Some people like, you know, our fast fuse, or, you know what I mean, double-sided tape. You know, everybody's so different. So you got to figure out what your preference is. Okay. So we got our little guy on here. Oh, I like this. It's cute, something different. And, And then we're just going to use our regular adhesive, because we don't want it too big or too popped up, because then sometimes you pay extra when you mail it. But this is going to the kids' teachers, so. All right. Now we're going to have a little, and this is our Daffodil Delight ribbon. It's a ruched ribbon, as you can see here. And I thought that would look nice somewhere, but I don't know where now. I don't know if we need it. Should I put it here? Yeah, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so it'll go in the apple. And that's the nice thing. Whenever you're going to make something smaller or bigger, just hold lightly in the middle and just pull, and then you don't lose your ribbon bow, your bow that you've made. So you can kind of play with it until you like the amount you want. I always use glue dots when I'm using ribbon, just because it just sticks so much better and you're not fooling with liquid glue. They're super strong little glue dots. Okay. And I think we need to add a little bit of bling. So I'm going to get, these are our flowers for every season. You can use them for shaker cards or anything like that, but I think they will look really cute. I don't know where my take your pick tool went to, so we will just improvise. So what you can do is just, whenever I'm going to put like a sequin or a glue dot or any kind of bling on there, I always put, that's probably a little bit more than I wanted, but let's just wipe that off and start again. So I'm going to put one here, and one here. Then I'm just going to put put some nice clear ones on. I'm just going to use my finger. Since I don't have my take your pick, I don't know where it went to. It's in my pile of junk here somewhere. Oh, I want a little bigger. And these ones have all different sizes on here. And I put way too much glue, but it'll dry clear, so you're not even going to notice it. And I'm making a mess here. That's why you have to take your pick tool. And I have no idea. I packed it for a class, and I don't know if I did not unpack it. I have no idea where it went to. So we're just going to improvise and make her work. But these, you could use some Wink Estella on here. Well, you can't see it very well because you can see the white glue, but when it dries, it'll dry nice and clear and you won't even notice it. So you can add a little bit of bling. You probably could even just left it. So I just put my sentiment right here. You can put your bling on. See, I don't like that. So I'm going to be a little fussy fart here, and I'm going to do something I don't normally do, but it doesn't ruin the card by doing this. You're just doing something different. I don't like, it's too small. I don't like that, so we're not going to go with that. We're just going to leave it without bling. It's going to be a simpler card. Now my fingers are all sticky. So you can add your bling if you want. If you don't want it, that's okay too. I think maybe a sequin would be better. Or you could use some Wink Estella and put it on the apple to make it look like it's been waxed. You can kind of play around with that and see what you like. But yeah, I'm going to leave it as is. And that is the chalkboard technique. I've done Christmas cards. You can really, this technique is not just good for teacher ideas. It's actually good for a lot of different ones. So, I just like the chalkboard technique. I like the black and the white. And then you add that little pop of color. I'm not sure which card I like best. I almost think we almost need this on the other side too. So we'll see. I don't want to put too much on it so it gets too crazy, but here are the two cards. This is one way and this is the other. I think this is my favorite card. I seem to have a preference for cards that are shaped this way, but this is pretty cute too. There are a lot of great options you can do with this. You can make pumpkins, you can make peaches, but this set is a really cool set and I've actually used it a lot more than I ever thought I was going to. So tune in tomorrow and I'm going to show you a little 3D gift item that you can send to your favorite teacher for them coming back, and put a little wrap candy or a gift card in, whatever you kind of want to. So stay tuned tomorrow and we'll make a 3D item. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Thanks.